Happy Tuesday, Mavericks. This is Rob Reinhold, Market Roundup. Let's jump into it. In this session, we'll be going through the news of the day. We did have a Mag 7 sell-off. We're going to take a look and see if that changed anything. And I've got one bull, one bear, and one sideways trade for you today.
All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. This video has been released to the public after a delay required by our compliance department. Maverick traders receive this market recap immediately, along with real-time trading support and resources. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that backs professional stock and options traders with firm capital. Our traders keep 70 to 80% of the profits they generate. If you're ready to become a professional trader, click the apply link in the video description below. Let's break down what happened in the markets today.
All right, let's take a look at the final numbers. Now, the Dow eked out a gain. Now, this was an all-time high, but you can see 0.002%, not all that impressive. Outside of that, and that was mostly from Home Depot. Home Depot had a really big jump today. Outside of that, you can see the S&P dropped 0.5%, the NASDAQ down 1.5%. The Russell down 0.75%. We're going to take a look at the internals of this market, but really when you take a look at it, it was all about the Mag 7. They had a big pullback today. And when you take a look at the equal weighted S&P, the RSP, it was up almost 0.5% on the day. So this was really about a big pullback in all the things that have had just a tremendous run. So it's not just the Mag 7, but all the Rocket Labs, all the stuff that's been rallying, just really speculative things, had a really big pullback. Crypto had a big pullback today. Strategy had a big fall. Look, if you were in those stocks, if you were in the hottest stocks, it was an ugly day for you. If you weren't and you were still long, hey, you had a great day. Overall, there was a little bit more selling than buying here on the advanced decline line, but nothing substantial. And you can see that we now are basically half the stocks are above the 50, half are below. We're really getting a cool off in the market. Now, the question is, does this cool off mean that we're crashing? Or is this a cool off meaning, hey, we were at really high levels of optimism, we've backed off those levels, and now we can have another rally? Well, guess what I'm going to say? You probably know what I'm going to say, is that stick with the trend. Look, I'm worried about the September period coming up. I know we're coming up on seasonality, but those are just all my fears. Now, look, fears can be logical sometimes. This is all based on data, but I can't go short here. I can't be aggressively short because the market is just screaming at me that it's bullish, and it's screaming at me that, hey, this is a pullback you've finally been waiting for after this big run. You should be getting ready to load up on the bulls. That's what the chart is saying. What actually happens, nobody knows, but that's what charting technicals are telling you. And that was just the S&P. We take a look at the RSP, and here you can see, oh, we're just doing a little base after we had a nice little rally off this bottom. This still looks just fine. This still looks fairly bullish. So overall, I think we're going to see probably more of what we saw today. I think those really crazy runners, the things that are up, 60, 70, 80% for the year, the large cap ones, I think they are probably going to continue to see weakness. And all of the speculative names, all the really crazy little ones, they're also probably going to see some more weakness. But when you take a look outside of these huge mega cap, Mag 7 tech names, you can see there's just nothing but buying. There is still buying out there in this market. You just need to be in the right place. So, look, we're still at a +3 on the monthly outlook. The weekly outlook, I'm putting a 0. I would put a +2 on regular stocks and a -2 on tech speculative stocks. I still think the market looks just fine technically, but as you know, I'm watching for this September 1st to October 15th. If we start to break down moving averages and we start to see technical damage, then all of a sudden I will get out of my bullish stance and I will go to a neutral or a bearish stance. Remember, we are traders. We are quick. We can change our minds very quickly. Just use the data to change your mind, not your feelings, not your emotions, not your worries. All right, let's take a look at some trades. I don't have a ton of trades because the setup here isn't great. I don't like where we are seasonally. I don't like looking to put trades off into mid-September that I just don't know where they're going to be. But I still have a few that I think look good. First one, this is the XHB. This is the Home Builder ETF. You can go look at individual home builders. That's fine, but this area is red hot right now. This is where the strength is. Take a look at this. Nice little high base. Okay, it could base for a while, but this is nothing but bullish in this kind of market. I like the 115 area. Again, I would be looking to do like a 112, 115 bull call spread, which is going to be mostly a theta play. So not really playing much direction, just saying, I think this thing holds in. If you want to be bullish, I think up to 120 is fairly optimistic, but I think you could stretch there 115, 120 if you're looking to be aggressively directional. I'm not, just because I don't want to be aggressively directional going into this September period, but I'm okay being slightly bullish on this one. This one looks great. For a sideways trade, we've got ExxonMobil. I talked about this last week. I really love when you get these really big, safe is a relative word, but stable companies that have lots of earnings power. This stock has not done well. It has done poorly this year. And it is down, but it's now paying about a 4% dividend. And it seems like when you take a look at Halliburton, you take a look at Schlumberger in this sector, they're all bottoming out about a 4% dividend. As long as people think that dividend is safe, these stocks seem to have a floor underneath. So I really like finding these kind of plays where the dividend is supporting the stock on the downside. I really like this area between 105 and 110. I didn't check and see if there's 250 strikes. There probably is on ExxonMobil. If so, I think you want to be right at 108 or 107.50. Now maybe you do the 106, 108, 110 2 weeks out. I think this was the one that makes a lot of sense here. If you want to go a little wider, do the 105, 107.50, 110, or the 105, 108, 111 if you want 108 to be your middle strike. But as I said, it seems like these stocks have a floor underneath them. Oil's down, business is terrible, but they got this floor underneath them that seems to be supporting the stock. All right, and let's jump into a bear. This is Samsara IoT. This is a tech stock, and you can see it was out of favor well before anything else got out of favor. You can see we took a big fall. We just had a bear rally up here, and now we've got this engulfing candle. If this was a bear market, I would be shooting at 30. I would be shooting at 30 and doing like a 30-35 bear call spread or bear put spread, either one. This is where I'd be shooting if this was a bearish market. The fact that this isn't a bearish market, I want to be a little bit more reasonable, so I'm going to be looking at the 34-32 bear put spread. You'll probably pay about 90 cents, which means you got about $1.10, so slightly more reward than risk, and just let this thing fall. Let's talk about tomorrow. I think we see some more Mag 7 weakness, but look, these are going to be a buy at some point. There is still money out there that just don't want to be buying these things that have had such a big run. If they keep coming down, it is going to be attracting more capital in there. If that happens, then that's going to be a really good buying opportunity. But if they start to bounce here, I think there hasn't been enough selling to encourage enough money to come into these things that they have a bounce. I don't like the Mag 7 here on the bullish side and these speculative names. I think the regular market looks absolutely lovely. I think you can find lots of good stuff. So I think that's where you want to be hunting for your bulls. Do you want to be shorting these speculative Mag 7 names? If you're really short term, sure. If not, just let them fall. And if they get a big enough pullback, then I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the next run higher if we don't get that September weakness. Tomorrow we got FOMC minutes, not all that important. And we actually have quite a bit of retail earnings tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. That's the Market Roundup. Goodbye, everyone.